I've got a very simple solution for this. War Games!
Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the War Report. It is Halloween night as we're recording. Well, you're going to hear this tomorrow, but happy Halloween to everybody out there. More treats than tricks, I guess. Less tricks than, I guess, the Fiend booking that just happened at Crown Jewel of him winning.
Oh, we don't know. We're not talking about that. We ain't talking about that.
Cyrus, how you feeling, man?
Man, I had to be at work for an extra hour because we were doing like a trick-or-treating thing for the kids, for the community. I thought that, maybe if I ate like a ton of sugar, I might be like set and ready. But like by the time I got home from work, I think like I like crashed and all the sugar is like ran out. I am dead tired.
Dude, I like every year I always have candy for the kids, and like on my block, me and like one other family are the ones that only like open their door to give candy. Mm-hmm. Kids don't even they bypass even ringing my doorbell anymore. Now they just with a hard knock, just boom, boom, boom. I'm like, who is this? Like I'm doing like interviews and stuff. And like kids, I had like a big tub of candy. By maybe 7 o'clock, it was all gone. Like they just went.
Oh my god!
They were like,
it is 9:50 as we're recording this, so that thing was gone in an hour.
Yeah, like I had to like stall. Like there were more. I got hit at first with like a group of 25 kids. I'm like, oh my god! Like. It's only what like 6 at that point, and then like I was like, all right, man, I got one more bag. I could kind of like wait it out, and then it just got me, and I was like 7. I'm like, I'm all out, man. I'm sorry.
Oh man, nah, you got to turn the porch light off after that.
Yeah,
ain't nothing over here.
All right, well, here we are. We are with AEW, we're 1 week closer to Full Gear.
I still don't like what is the rest of the card?
Well, we got two matches. Since we had the tag team finals on this show, which
makes no sense.
I think we talked about like why would you burn that on like AEW Dynamite show? But,
like an amazing match that you would like kind of want to build towards, in a Dusty Classic kind of style, Like, why wouldn't you have the finals on, your pay-per-view? Now, who are your new tag team champions? Your first ever tag team champions are going to face on the pay-per-view. Oops. I don't get it.
Well, the 4th episode of the AEW Dark this week, let's just cut right to the chase. There was a women's match. It was Sadie Gibbs, Penelope Ford, Allie, and Emi Sakura. Now they call her just Sakura. Now they dropped the first name.
Hey man, where's the outrage for that?
Yeah, I don't get that. My initial thoughts on this match was we've been talking of Sadie Gibbs since we've been doing the show, and I feel like commentary didn't really tell us like why she was so important. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we know from her because we've watched a little bit of Stardom. You watched Stardom. I watched a little bit of Stardom. I was kind of familiar with her before they signed her to AEW, and it feels like in this match, like everybody kind of wasn't on the same page. It was like Emi Sakura was like the veteran trying to be the ring general, and then it was just kind of like all random spots.
They need a new general. I'm gonna keep it G. I didn't get through the match, man. The Fatal 4-Way thing, I thought it was kind of cool. Well, actually, I didn't know it was going to be a Fatal 4-Way. I thought it was just going to be a tag match. So when it became a Fatal 4-Way, I was just like, oh, okay, it's whatever. I tapped out when they kind of did like the cheerleading spot.
Oh yeah.
And then Ali does a thing at the top, and she like did the peace sign, and then they all ganged up on Sadie, and then they let Ali do that with any repercussions, and they're kind of just like playing musical chairs in the ring. And I'm just like, all right, man. Like, I get it. In Fatal 4-Way matches, there's a little, there's allegiance that happens, but I don't see why. I don't get that. Like, it really took me out of it, and I was just like, man, this ain't it. I'm good.
Emmy went over here. I thought Allie was fine. I thought Penelope Ford, she's real charismatic. I do like this. They should build more on her, but like from what impressions I got from like talking to people, I think they did Sadie a disservice because they're like, she didn't move the needle for me, and I'm like, if you guys only saw what me and Cyrus and I saw and see in Stardom, you would kind of change your mind, and I don't feel like they kind of did that.
Yeah, I don't know. Not a big fan of Sakura. Out of like a lot of the talent on AEW, she doesn't do it for me personally. Maybe her work somewhere else is much better. I'm not even really sure what promotion she came from. All I really know is that she's Riho's teacher. It is what it is.
Yeah, I
wasn't a big fan of the match. And I was kind of looking forward to it too, because it had Sadie and Penelope Ford, but it was a big old stinker.
I think we'll talk about it once we get to the main show with the Shayna and Hikaru Shida match. They're putting a lot of foreign talent over, and I think we kind of like briefly talked about this off camera, like. I know Hikaru just moved to the U.S., but like with Riho and Emmy, like there's no guarantee that they're going to be there full time.
Well, they're like those women, the girl that Hikaru faced, people like Kit Saban. I'm not sure if Jimmy Havoc moved to America. I'm unsure. B. Priestley, who I think earlier this week said like
she's part-time AEW full-time Stardom.
She's part-time AEW full-time Stardom, so she's not going to be on the show a lot. Even though they set up something with her and Britt Baker, and it seems like they're going to have to slow down with that. And I said on a couple episodes ago, I think that might be like the back and forth feud that Britt Baker can get, so she can get better in ring, because everybody is like dunking on her. She is still kind of like the veteran term green in the ring. I think I think if she just had like a back and forth feud or a series with B. Priestley, she could probably like get better and just have a partner that she's like familiar with, and we can see what that's like. Yeah,
I think with the booking, there's no really like rhyme or reason to it yet. I think that they're just kind of like throwing wrestlers and matches, and there's no real symmetry that is getting built here. Like Riho will fight Nyla Rose one week and then go to Britt the next week. You know what I mean? Like Riho,
you got it wrong. She'll fight Nyla one week, she'll be in a random ass tag next week, and then she'll be facing her tag team partner of that random ass tag the following week. Makes no sense. And we have a ton of women matches since then. Rio hasn't been present, and there is no like number one contender for the women's title coming Full Gear yet. As of now, yet.
Well, I was talking about like singles matches from her, like Riho.
Oh yeah,
like you said, like Nyla was the Haas in that match, and then
she was being the hell out of Nyla.
And then like with Britt, it was like she was trying to work a style with Britt, and I'm like, okay, like what are you building? What type of champion are you building Riho to be? Like JR, well, if you listen to JR, he's like, she's
don't listen to JR. Don't listen to JR.
If you listen to she's a small like fighter and stuff like that. But like in ring, it's like sometimes Rio has the Mario star, and sometimes she's fighting from behind. Like I don't know what type of champion she is yet.
Yeah, and her being absent for a couple weeks now isn't really helping her case either. And they're currently not setting up a number one contender for her.
They gotta set it up in a week because next Sunday is Full Gear.
It's Full Gear, so next week, they're gonna have to have a battle royale or some shit, and then get it cracking.
To round out that show, we had Dustin Rhodes and Sonny Kiss versus QT Marshall and the Librarian Peter Avalon. I thought Dusty and Sonny had a lot of fun here, and they kind of played off Dustin being Gold Dust and that and Sonny kind of being his character. I'm glad that I would like to see this tag team on the main show, but I liked what they did here. And then you had Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, and Jack Evans. Jimmy Havoc is going to be in these type of matches where there's going to be all sorts of craziness with tables and chairs. I don't think you'll ever see Jimmy Havoc just in a regular match.
Yeah. That's going to be an issue for him. The fact that he's not going to be able to, wrestle in normal singles matches, that's going to be a big issue for him because you already see, I think Jimmy Havoc is already, 5 steps ahead of him by having a lot of, regular singles matches proving that he can actually wrestle without the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. Oops. And then Darby Allin, he does the coffin drop with the chair and he gets another win. Obviously, fans are behind him. I think that if there's one bright spot of them building up guys, Darby Allin, they've actually done the right thing.
Yes, the crowd is firmly behind Darby Allin. I think just one title match made everybody really care about him, which is, I guess that's all it takes. I'm not complaining, but it is what it is. Hopefully we see Darby Allin, rise like a phoenix and comes back into a title picture. I think if they ever, have the secondary title coming in, I definitely think he's the guy that you want to put it on. Him or Janela.
Yeah, absolutely. The main card here, and when I was doing notes, AEW had more angles this week than I think NXT did, which is
oh yeah, absolutely.
They had a lot of jump cuts here.
Oh, wait, wasn't there a tag match on AEW Dark?
Yeah, it was Dustin Rhodes, Sonny Kiss, QT Marshall, and Peter Avalon.
Oh, did we already talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I think, as I was saying, I think that they have something there with Dustin and Sonny as being in a tag team. Mm-hmm. Especially, with Dustin's history being Gold Dust, and then, Sonny's...
I think Sonny being, a Gold Dust kind of character would be great. There's certainly parallels into that character. I think it will really work well for him. Hopefully, when Sonny Kiss is put on the main card, hopefully he doesn't get a negative reaction from the fans.
Yeah, and whenever we'll talk about it more whenever Dustin heals up.
Oh yeah, oof.
Yeah. So this show started off with our first. I don't know if we can really count it as on screen, but first allusion as Tony Khan as a character because Moxley rolls up.
He's kind of on the show.
Yeah, so. Even though he said that he didn't really want to do that. Moxley rolls up into his office, and then Tony Khan mentions that, his match at Full Gear with Kenny, that he can't sanction the match. It's not going to count against his loss record. It's going to be a lights-out match. And the funny thing is that Mox is going off on him, right? And it totally sounds that Tony Khan is scared to death of this man.
Oh, yeah. Definitely sounds pussy.
So I'm like...
Definitely sounds like a coward.
All right, so I'm like, okay, this is different than any authority figures because it looks like Mox is going to just bully him. Let's just cut to the Mox promo. We'll link this up. Mox comes out later in the night.
Yeah.
Peter Avalon, poor soul. The crowd popped for this. he gets a dirty deeds. And then Mox cuts this promo. Basically, they've been allude to the unhinged Mox. Basically, he's the anti-establishment guy.
Yeah,
he basically says screw this. If you want an unsanctioned match, Kenny Omega's blood is going to be there. He's everybody kisses him. All the execs can kiss his ass, and we got an exec angle. So, what did you think about this whole Mox thing?
Okay, one, I did like the promo, but he kept saying unsanctionable.
Yeah, he's unsanctionable.
That's not a real word.
In Mox language, it is, I guess.
Because every time I typed up unsanctionable, there's a red line under it. But I did like the promo. I did like the promo a lot. I definitely thought it was really cool. It really plays up to his character. I definitely think that Pac was doing the same thing a couple weeks ago, where he was just I have a better win-loss record, but they're giving Darby Allin this win-loss shit is pretty ass. And John did address that. This win-loss thing is pretty dumb. And I'm not a big fan of it either, and I'm glad that he kind of pointed that out. Especially why are you having matches that don't count towards the win-loss?
Okay,
if it's so important in this company.
All right, so Joey Janela didn't he have an unsanctioned match against Mox?
He had a lights out match against Moxley and Kenny Omega.
So none of these losses should count against him then, because if it's not counting for Mox, then why the hell does Joey have 2 losses?
From my understanding of wrestling, which is, might not be as much as most, but from my understanding is that an unsanctioned match is similar to the Seth Rollins thing, where it's just you're injured, but we're gonna put you in the match anyway. So if you do if your knee snaps or breaks again, we're not hold accountable.
Yeah.
I think if they would have mentioned Dean's elbow into the fray, where he was just we're having you out there, but this match is very intense, and you had that elbow injury recently. Maybe we're thinking about unsanctioning this. Just something like that, something to make it work. Because if you're just gonna have matches that don't count towards win-loss, it's pretty dumb, because if we think about it, the Cracker Barrel sponsored match was basically a lights out match, but it counted towards Darby Allin getting a win and putting him ahead of everybody in the line of a title picture.
To Mox's credit, he did mention that he was trying to fight back from that injury in the promo. I do remember that, and I agree with you that this was a good Mox promo. I mean, I know a lot of people were oh, well, when he was Dean Ambrose, he kind of meandered a little bit, and he had and he had the sarcasm to him. No, he was focused. Yeah. He was kind of the badass. And like I said, I don't know what they're really doing, because Pac is still kind of the anti-establishment guy too. So you have 2 anti-establishment guys.
I felt maybe they could have just worked together at some point and got along in some sense of the situation, an enemy and the enemy is my friend kind of situation. That's just what it is. And Moxley kind of gives the same promo that he did when he left the Shield, his the final Shield match, where he was just don't call me dumb, or, stuff like that, screw teachers, police officers, da-da-da, this and that. And I was just this seems like I feel like he thinks everybody's treating him as if he's stupid, and I definitely don't think that's the case. But it's certainly in the roots of a lot of his like what would it be? What would be the word? You know, just like his style of promo that he like his go-to like promo kind of thing.
Yeah, he'll hit on like, you know what I mean, like hit on like, you know, the place I came from, like they tried to like kind of like put me on a leash, and you can't do that with me. And he like he mentioned hint at WWE without really kind of like focusing on it. Slightly. But I liked it, and I'm if there's anything about kind of like Full Gear, I guess I'm looking forward to this match to see like real Moxley versus Deathmatch Kenny.
Oh yeah, like it's great. Like this is Moxley in like, you know, his element, and then this match isn't going to count. I would be pissed as well. You know, like them treating him as if he's a, like, you know, like a free show. Like he's always getting like a lot of these gimmick matches. Like his match with Joey Janela. Like I kind of can see where he's coming from. All the complaints I have are slight nitpicks. I definitely think this is a fantastic promo.
So the show started with Sammy Guevara and Hangman Page. I think that this was this is a good opener, and I think this was the most over that Hangman Page was. Like he got the crowd behind him. He got the crowd to say that do some real cowboy shit.
Yeah, I don't know what that entails.
Is he gonna lasso Pac?
Is he gonna put a revolver in Pac's face, bruh?
Yeah, at a Full Gear. Yeah, I think that it helped both men. I think Sammy Guevara looked good. I think Hangman Page looked strong, working off Sammy Guevara. This is a good match.
Yeah, yeah, and what was it? They said that like something happened last taping, like, you know, after the lights went off, and it was basically just Hangman Page challenging Neville for Pac for a rematch.
Yeah, at Full Gear. Yeah, if you didn't watch last week, because I guess they re-aired it with bonus scenes like they did with Avengers Endgame when they wanted to break the record.
Yeah, I don't know why they promoted it like that. I definitely think it should have just been like a video of its own, or just like something happened after the cameras went off at the last taping, and this is what it's going to be. It made it seem like they're going to re-air the same taping and just add that part, which is like weird, but it is what it is. So we're going to see that match again.
Yeah, and hopefully there is a winner. We alluded to it a little bit. We had Shayna versus Hikaru Shida. Hikaru is a shooter, man. She was working stiff in this match.
That's her.
I didn't think it was too bad, but I think it went too long. I think the crowd definitely, other than like the knee spots, it went a little long. I think that because the crowd didn't know who Shayna was or Shayna was. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it didn't feel like it was long to me because I was really enjoying the match. I was seeing gifs of it, and I was just like, oh, you know, like, I do like Hikaru. I think she's really cool. I never heard of Shayna before, and I think she is really good. My only problem is that she's another foreign talent. And a lot of these AEW tapings is just like, there's Britt Baker, and then like a shuffle of women. I definitely think, like, you know, we need more women on the show to like get used to that isn't Britt Baker, because I don't see her in the title picture again anytime soon. But I did like this match a lot.
I think that they need to start doing vignettes of like just like small things about like some of the women wrestlers, kind of like showing, just like introducing themselves and like showing what they're about. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, just like a slight intro thing. It doesn't have to be long. It could play during their entrance. You know, something light. And, you know, speaking of vignettes, we got a very cryptic weird vignette of Brandi Rhodes putting on a veil.
Some voodoo working in there, like it looked like.
It didn't look like no voodoo to me, but that's a theory a lot of people were going with. People were theorizing that it has to do something with Kong, because I think Aja Kong and Awesome Kong are still gonna have that match. I'm not too entirely sure. Maybe maybe not at Full Gear. There's probably something with Aja Kong going on. Like, she's probably doing something in Japan right now, so they can't have the match. But whatever this Brandi stuff is, hopefully it's cool.
Well, she alluded on an interview that they did with Pro Wrestling Sheet that she wanted to introduce a darker character. So this is kind of like whatever this is going to manifest as. This is Brandi Dark. I don't know where that. I mean, like,
what is a dark character in wrestling?
I guess, like, I don't want to say like Brandi wants to be the Undertaker or
the Fiend
or Aleister Black, but something like I don't know. Like, you saw like the picture she put like with the crying makeup and stuff. I mean, I don't know what that means.
A shrugging emoji for me. I'm not entirely too sure. I'm going to wait and see before I type up an article saying that this is going to be cool and it's going to be amazing. I'm not too sure. I hope it's some cool stuff. AEW does need a character like that, kind of. Like, I think Jimmy Havoc can have that kind of thing, but they're not having him in, like, normal-ass singles matches, and I think that can hurt his character.
So, Rock and Roll Express comes out. They are introing... I think the tag team titles, I think they have good-looking tag team titles.
They... this title makes the women's title look even worse.
Yeah, it looks like their women's title looks like one of the 2K20 creative belts, but like glitched.
They definitely like use their remaining budget for that title, because the AEW tag titles are they look great.
So they're trying to intro them and say that they're gonna introduce them to the winner later tonight. They get attacked by Santana and Ortiz, and this is not the first time they go on the attack here. Ricky Morton takes a bump through the stage. This guy is over 60. I mean, they'll be in the World Tag League, later on, but
they're having their weird revival, like PCO.
So the Young Bucks come out and try to run Santana and Ortiz off. I'm like thinking in my head, like, does this kind of there's two things I was thinking. I'm like, okay, are they building up Santana and Ortiz versus the Rock and Roll Express down the road, or like, are they just trying to get them heat? They're trying to get them heat for that Young Bucks match, and like, because it's during, I guess, the tag team title presentation, I'm like, is this kind of overshadowing what's going to happen later on that night?
Yes, I definitely think that this segment should have been placed much later into the show, and it should not have involved Santana and Ortiz and the Young Bucks, especially because Proud and Powerful show up later, during another tag match to jump the Young Bucks. So I don't really understand why they had them do what they did here. If they were just gonna beat them up later to get heat,
just jumping everybody. They're just going just lawless, just going and just.
I mean, why are you gonna jump these old guys? They're old. Why don't you jump? Some of the young dudes in the tag team. Like, why don't you go jump? What tag team? Like Lucha, Jungle Boy and Marco Stein, or you could beat up any of the other losers that are in the that lost in the tournament.
But my thing is, like, okay, it took my, like, attention off. I'm like, okay, is Santana Ortiz kind of overlooking the Young Bucks and kind of making a statement saying, like, all right, man, we're going for the tag titles? Because I'm like...
Then why wouldn't you beat up the winners of the tag tournament?
Yeah, why wouldn't they go against, like, other than the Young Bucks, why build that and then have them go against the winner? I didn't get that run in.
There's no point of beating the Young Bucks because they already lost the tournament.
Yeah. I don't know.
So if you're on your fast track to the belt, I don't think beating the Young Bucks is for it. I think you should be beat up the Lucha Bros after a full year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, their tag team division is their strength in AEW, but there's just, like, a lot of meandering points that are just floating out there.
You know what? If they would have beat up Private Party, that would have been something. Because
Private Party was in the crowd. Like,
people love the Private Party, so why wouldn't you have your main heel tag team beat up, the most beloved babyface tag team?
I don't know, man.
Or have them beat up Orange Cassidy. People love Orange Cassidy.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a little bit. They definitely love Orange Cassidy. So let's get into this contract signing here. So in the very beginning, Tony Schiavone is like riding around with Cody.
Cringe.
They have like this limo talk, and Cody and Tony Schiavone's telling stories about Dusty. Basically, like, he walked in this like dressing room and like Dusty was naked and something like that. And he's like, Dusty said
like something. Just a weird story.
Yeah, and basically saying, like, let that other guy, you always go last, let the other guy go first. And then they alluded, and then, like, I think Cody did a good job here saying, like, all right, my mom is going to be there. And, like, they both talked about, like, how important it would be, like, because his mom is going to be at Full Gear, and they're having this title match. So, like, it means a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you go to the actual contract signing, Tony at first sounds like he lost his voice. Like, he sounds like scratchy, and I'm like, yo, like, did he talk? Like, could somebody get him some water real fast? Like,
that motherfucker was talking way too much in that car about Dusty being naked.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, they're having a contract signing. This is very WWE.
Yeah.
Then Cody doesn't talk. Jericho does the talking. He's wearing this like
a Halloween theme outfit. I'm not gonna poop on it too much.
Yeah. It's very bright, but he does most of the talking. I think he does a good job being the heel. Like, Jericho's just basically having fun in this career at this point. Mm-hmm. So they sign it. They get like this face to face with like really close, and then it cuts to outside with Sammy Guevara. I'm like, dude, you just got beat. But they start beating up Dustin, and
they are beating the hell out of Dustin.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? Like, where is everybody else? Like, where's DDP? He was there last week. He's not going to come help. So Hager comes out. He's beating the hell out of Dustin, and then he puts his arm in a limo, and basically Kayfabe breaks his arm. And
don't forget how you smashed his head against the car and put a dent in that mug. Ooh,
so Dustin
that thing looks
not
so
only
painful.
has like a fractured elbow or something like that. He has CTE. He probably has a concussion. So my man is in a bad way. So like Cody comes out there with like, and I'm like, okay, MJF, Cody, like, why aren't they like attacking the Inner Circle? The Inner Circle has enough time to where Jericho gets out there and he lights a damn cigar, and they make fun of him, and they get in their limo and they leave.
Very weird segment there. Well, I'm gonna backtrack a bit. Some of the stuff that Jericho said was really, playing up to his heel stuff. Like, it was just like, you really need this title to prove that you're something. And I definitely think that's the case. I just think that I think it's silly that you have to start your whole, like, you have to start a whole ass promotion to be world champion. But, you know, he's like, I'm not going to flip this table. We're not going to brawl. We just going to beat up your brother. And they're beating him up, and Cody runs out there pretty fast, which is like, damn. He got out there pretty fast. And then they don't scrap or anything. They're not fighting again. They kind of just like, haha, we like bashed your brother's head against the car and broke his arm, haha, peace out. And I'm just like, you're not furious, bro? Come on. I don't care how many of them there are. They just beat this, you know.
He just beat up your brother.
Yeah, this brother that, like, on screen that, you know, there's a relationship between them. Like, you can see that they very much, you know, they're a loving family. Like, I don't care how many goons there are. I'm scrapping, bro.
Yeah, I thought, just to your point, Cody's won the ROH championship. He's won the U.S. title in New Japan, but he's never won, like, I don't know if that's a knock on ROH, but like he's saying that, but Jericho was saying, like, you know, like, you need to win a championship. I'm like, damn, you know, like, does that mean like ROH championship is shit? Because like it's like, I mean, like saying like,
wait, how long was he ROH champ?
Yeah.
How long did that last?
I think it lasted for a pretty good while. He was like,
damn, I don't remember that. I just remember his feud with Jay Lethal.
He had,
because I was there for one of the matches.
Because he replaced the actual title with the ring. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And then you had to kiss the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why I forgot it.
Yeah. And then I would say that, like, the legend of Orange Cassidy continues because him and Best Friends had a trios match against just like some random guys like Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and QT Marshall. Like I said, they had the whole Rick and Morty thing going on. Like,
I thought that was a weird Rick and Morty kind of promo. Commentary are like trying to talk about it, but it seems like JR has actually never seen the show before. But I feel like Excalibur is actually a really big fan of it. And I don't know. I'll be watching. I do like the show. All this promo for 5 new episodes seems like a bit much.
Dude, the crowd went crazy when Orange Cassidy did the hands and pockets okay.
Man, they were crazy when he existed. This dude is over.
He's super over. If they don't, like, in their history, put the damn title on Orange Cassidy.
Or I think that might be a little bit crazy. But I do think they should have a title match with him and Jericho.
Oh, the fans would love it.
Yeah, they would absolutely love it. I don't know if it would be a fantastic match, but they'll certainly love it.
All right, so let's talk about this Kenny Omega thing first before we get to the Elite versus Kip Sabian Hybrid 2.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Omega had this intro video. It's basically for...
Do you know where it's from?
Undertale.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because I remember...
I had to check your gamer knowledge, bro.
Undertale. And he did this... Like, he alluded to it before he left New Japan, right? He did the whole, the whole goodbye thing. So this video, I think, basically portrayed New Japan Wrestling as the bad guy. And
yes.
I think low-key took a swipe at Coda.
Yeah, saying that he was your remember your best friend? He was never really there. And I think that is very, I think that's just a really shitty thing, you know? Like, just because Coda didn't, want to jump ship with AEW with you, I don't think that you should be like, oh, I guess you're not my friend. You know? No matter, what their relationship actually is, I do think that's really shitty, though.
I've seen a couple interpretations of that. I think some people said that, like, you know, the relationship between AEW and New Japan is complicated. It definitely, this video definitely did not help matters, and they feel like, you know, Coda and Kenny are caught in rocking a hard place, but they still kind of want to be friends, but, like,
I mean, just FaceTime each other, bro.
But, like, if you've been watching New Japan, like, Coda's won the G1, he's won the Intercontinental title, and he's damn near on his way to being a double champion at Wrestle Kingdom. So he's doing a good job signing full-time there. So, like, you know, this video just kind of, I was like, like, if there was any question of a partnership between AEW and New Japan, there's definitely bad blood there.
Yeah, you know, we had Okada come out and say, like, he would like to do a partnership with New Japan. He would like to, like, you know, face New Japan wrestlers. To me, that just reads, I want to face Kenny Omega again, because I don't want to watch Okada versus Jimmy Havoc or Darby Allin or Joey Janela, any, like, BS like that. I don't know. I don't like the video portraying New Japan as the bad guys, as if, you know, the Young Bucks and Kenny weren't the ones that ran off on them. And then, you know, during their press conference at Wrestle Kingdom, the Young Bucks was just like, maybe you could work for us at our company, to Sonata and Evil. Like, that was really shitty.
They jumped. They jumped in a championship match while, like, Guerrillas of Destiny and Evil and Sonata went through the whole World Tag League. Like, they just kind of came afterwards, like, all right, we're in the match. You know what I mean? Like, and, like, if you listen to kind of rumors and stuff, Kenny was supposed to be there until the Garden and just dropped the title and never showed up again. So, like, I know Jericho's going back over there. I know Moxley's going back over there. But it's definitely complicated when it comes to Kenny.
With Kenny, it might be, like, really complicated. But I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, a relationship forged again. Like,
they figure it out.
But if you're an Undertale fan, I'm not. This is probably, like, really cool. You know? I don't know. That video can be interpreted in different ways. And to me, it really just makes, you know, it does strike as the New Japan and AEW stuff might be more complicated than we think. The relationship with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi is kind of, like, falling apart. But shaky.
Well, it's going to be interesting because they are running a pay-per-view on the same day, those two. So, But the match, I thought it was just basically a very paint-by-the-numbers elite match.
Well, hold on. Let's back it up. We didn't talk about Kenny Omega coming out as one of the Undertale characters, which is why his whole entrance was like a whole thing. He had a whole special entrance. The Young Bucks re-rocked their outfit from
Street Fighter.
No, they had a show earlier this year. I think it was like the CEO, like collaboration with the CEO Gaming. Yeah, so they just re-rocked their Street Fighter outfits, Ken and Ryu, and I guess they didn't tell the Hybrid 2 and Kid Saban that they could dress up as well because they just came in regular gear.
Yeah, they came in that, like, neon green gear. There were a lot of, I want to mention this. They're talking about, like, Kenny, like, being on a losing streak and kind of, like, fighting his way back. JR says a comment, maybe he has mental illness. And then, like, Excalibur was like, like, you could tell he was flustered. And, like, JR tried to walk it back, like, real fast. But I'm like, oh, my God, I just caught that. Like, what is JR thinking about?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, we got to get Taz back here. Yo, we got to get Taz back. I'm sorry, we have to get him back.
Yeah, mental. I was like, I paused it, and I'm like, he didn't say what I thought he said. And I replayed it, he's like, yeah, maybe he had mental illness. I'm like, oh my God. And you could hear, like, if Excalibur could be like, oh, like he probably would have said that. Santana and Ortiz attacked the Young Bucks, and Kenny's too late getting over there.
But about the match, like, it's a good match. I think I do like Jack the Hybrid 2 and Kit Sabian.
I do like them, yeah.
Watching this match, it really made me think, like, I wish Kip Sabian was in Inner Circle and not Sammy Guevara. I think he has the look of he does have the look of a piece of shit heel. I do think he's a better wrestler than Sammy Guevara, but I think his look does pair well with Inner Circle, and I definitely think he should have taken Sammy Guevara's spot.
Ended the night with Lucha Brothers and SCU. That's Kazarian and Scorpio. Kazarian almost killed himself at one point.
And this match is long.
This match was way long. Kazarian tries to do a Hurricane Rana to the outside and ends up hitting his head and neck on the apron. That was no good. I was like, oh my God, is he going to be able to finish the damn match here? Phoenix does this crazy-ass springboard.
Oh, yeah. This match is beautiful.
Yeah, Phoenix is just good. I think they did the right thing with the Scorpio hot tag. That kind of like brings the story as like kind of like the breakout guy in this whole tag team thing.
Mm-hmm. At his big age.
How do you feel about the finish? Because Scorpio Sky wins with a small package.
I don't hate it, but I do think like if you're gonna like they did a lot of work to get Scorpio Sky over, and him having to beat the Lucha Bros with a small package was like but I do think it sets up something down the line where it's just like, you barely beat us kind of thing, and maybe the Lucha Bros just have to rack up some wins again, and we'll probably see him in a title picture again.
That's how AEW ended. Your first ever AEW tag team chance is SCU. Yeah.
At first, I was kind of upset. I was just like, you guys said that you were going to push younger guys, and then you give it to SCU, and I'm pretty sure that Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian, like, their age combined is more than the Lucha Bros combined.
Yeah.
But seeing this match, I don't care. Good stuff. I think they did a lot of work with Scorpio Sky. I think just like what he's done in this tournament from like the first match where he just came in with his Adidas on, that definitely left an impression on people.
So moving on to NXT, I feel like this episode was a lot more focused as we build to War Games.
I love how William Regal says War Games.
War Games, yeah. Shout out to Poppy. She the relationship between Poppy and NXT continues.
I don't even know what that's about, but keep it going, because this intro to NXT was very, very cool. With Io Shirai coming out. This would be her new theme, right?
I'm not too sure.
I think it's, I don't know, I really liked her old theme, but if this is her new theme, I think it's pretty cool. Io Shirai comes out to a live performance by Poppy and her gang, and
Scary
it's
Mask.
a stellar performance. Yeah, Scary Mask, it's a stellar performance. I like it a lot.
So they ran back Io Shirai, Candice LeRae. Personally,
fantastic.
I think it was another fantastic match. Candice got a lot more offense in this time around. Because I felt like in her takeover match, like she took a lot of like shots from Io. My question is about the chair. Why wouldn't the ref take the chair, move the chair out of the ring?
So I saw some people like talking about it, and how I'm like, I did think like it was kind of like stupid that Io Shirai pull out the chair, but it worked to the finish. I think the ref couldn't like move it away because Io was laying on it, and that would have messed with the finish. But it is what it is.
Io wins, and that kind of like sets the precedent of what's going to happen later in the night. I want to get into this Finn Balor promo though. My man was
straight shooter.
This was the best promo I thought that he's cut.
Quote unquote shooter. But yeah, this is the best promo. He's in his heel bag.
My man talked about the Fiend.
This man said 2 months ago I was laying down for the Fiend. Now I'm the hottest thing in wrestling again, and I was just like, yeah, talk that talk, man.
Saying how the business watched him, and he addressed Johnny Gargano. He said, "Oh, they call you Johnny Wrestling? Well, it's going to be Johnny Watches Wrestling because you should be watching me."
Yeah, big bars. He also talks about marks, the fans. Y'all typing up like y'all know what's good. Y'all don't know how this work. This is money talk. Y'all know nothing about that. I was like, big bars. I like this.
And so Full Sail crowd had a theme all night where they were cheering heels. They were booing Johnny Gargano when he was mentioning him.
Yeah. Full Sail, fickle crowd. I'm pretty sure this is like well known that they'll cheer for damn much anything. And you know what? Like, seeing Finn Balor like this is cool. So I don't really blame them for cheering so much, but like it does bring like a weird, like, it is conflicting. It's just like, man, he's talking about shit about us, Johnny, and all this. Yeah, man, I like that. Like, it's kind of weird. But this was a good promo, though.
Yeah, I'm loving anti-hero Finn. I can't wait to see that match between him and Johnny Gargano.
I want to see his first. I don't think he's gonna have a regular ass match on NXT TV.
No, I don't think he is either. Well, we got a lot of time. We got about 3 weeks. We have a lot of 4 weeks until War Games. So yeah,
we have a lot of time towards them. But I want to see Finn's heel, his heel stuff in the ring. We could probably watch his old New Japan stuff, but it's just maybe it's different this time around with his heel work.
Rock and Roll is back.
Yeah.
So we moved into a Bronson Reed Shane Thorne match. I thought this was a great match. I think because it was short, it was hard hitting.
Yeah.
It was like
It kind of redeemed Shane Thorne for me. I thought he was really good in this match. Him and Bronson Reed have really good chemistry together.
I'm really high on Bronson Reed. I think he really needed the win here. Considering that Shane Thorne kind of tore through a lot of the NXT breakout talent, did a lot of good for both men. I'm looking to see more from Bronson Reed, and I'm looking to see more from Shane Thorne. You know what I mean? They worked well together.
Yeah. This match was really great. I wasn't too big of a fan of the Johnny Gargano match. I do think Johnny probably gave him a little too much, and I don't think Shane was ready for all that. But here, it looked really well. I like Bronson Reed a lot.
So from there, we had the women's tag team title match. We got Team Kick versus the Kabuki Warriors. I thought the Dakota Kai beatdown went way too long. It really took away from the match. They were beating the hell out of her.
They were beating the brakes off her, and I think she has a hyperextended knee, which is leaving her questionable. But I think she'll be ready by the time War Games is. It's time for War Games.
I will say though that I love heel Asuka and.
Absolutely.
I love them too. I love. Man, they did the right thing. First of all, kicking Paige off, and then making them both heel.
Yeah, I like the heel work a lot. I love the laughing stuff. They're the language barrier is there, but it doesn't matter when Kyrie starts doing her little evil laugh. It just they're good shit-eating heels. I'm not sure if Kyrie was ever heel in Stardom or anything like that, but her working like this it's some really good stuff.
They even changed their offense up to even fit the heel, which is a nice little detail that they did. You had the Tegan hot tag, but Kabuki comes out at the end. Then we had one of the craziest segments, especially in their with their women's division. Horsewomen come down. They basically beat the hell out of Tegan, and they just kind of discard Dakota Kai because you said she was hurt. So,
yeah, she had the mist on her face.
So Rhea comes out. She comes out. Candice comes out. Io comes out. Bianca comes out and is just pushing people around.
These ladies brawling.
And then, Rhea clears out everybody. She gets a big... she basically gives a big boot to Bianca, clears out everybody, and then her and Shayna fight. Then it's just a big ass brawl. And then at first I was like, is the crowd booing it? No. And then I realized they're chanting War Games.
I definitely thought they were booing. I didn't have my headphones in. I don't know why they thought they were booing, but it definitely sounded like boring. But they were saying War Games.
Rhea so Regal comes out from this perch, this big ass watchtower thing. And
I love that thing.
He's like, hey, split them apart. And then of course, I know how to settle this. War Games.
I pop.
So the two captains are Shayna and Rhea. We have 9 ladies. We are missing one person.
Well, you want to take your guess on who it might be?
Oh, man. Okay. My heart is telling me Toni Storm. My brain is telling me Mia Yim.
I don't have a heart, but I will say Toni Storm.
I think because we haven't seen Toni in a while, I think that it would be great. It'd be great to see her, man. Cause
I mean, isn't there
there's one less face.
Yeah, but is there a link to Toni Storm and Shayna Baszler, something Mae Young Classic? Have they faced in a Mae Young Classic?
I don't think so. I know Toni and Io have. Toni and Io have. There's the history between Toni and Rhea, of course. You could have them kind of piece that up if they're going to be on the same team. You know what I mean? Watch it be Mia.
If it's going to be Mia Yim, I'm cheering for Shayna all the way, all the way home. I want it to be a clean sweep.
Oh man,
not a big fan of not a big fan of Mia Yim right now. I'll say that.
So we had Tyler Bate and Cameron Grimes.
Good match.
Cameron Grimes did this crazy flip into a German that I was a super fan of.
Oh yeah, that shit was sick. I love how he's losing, but they're kind of keeping him really resilient. Well, losing in a sense. I think I don't think Killian Dane having a part in the finish was really helped him out too much, but it was a cool match.
I think they protected Tyler by having him startled by Killian, and then Cameron picking up the win. The thing is, I'm okay, Pete Dunne still has unfinished business with Killian, right?
Triple threat.
Yeah, but true. They could do that.
Anything is possible in wrestling, man.
Anything is possible in NXT.
Yeah.
There's a long line to fight Pete Dunne. We call him Mr. Second Hour. So
he's gonna be having a match with Damian Priest
next week. So I think that what happens here, right, is I think that they're gonna have the match, and then Killian's gonna get involved there, and then that's how you get to the triple threat.
Yeah.
So the night. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, that should be cool. So the night ended with
Matt Riddle and Keith Lee versus Undisputed Era, Fish and O'Reilly. I like the dynamic of this match to the fact that obviously Fish and O'Reilly are the smaller guys, but they had to pick Matt Riddle apart, kind of like with their methodical thing. You saw that they used that against like the Viking Raiders early on, or they do it with bigger teams. I like that they did that here, but when Keith got involved, like he's
clean sweeping, baby.
Sweep. We won't even mention like Keith later in the match, like when Adam Cole comes down, he completely just demolishes Adam Cole on the outside, just pushes him over. Like I'm like, damn, like he flew.
Oh, yeah, for the pounds? Yeah, I thought that was really cool. They flew.
I think Matt Riddle is just a freak. Get that man in the title picture at some point.
Well, he's been losing.
But he's been losing a lot, too.
Yeah, so I don't know if Matt Riddle is just paying his dues before he gets called up or something, but...
You know, I love the Goldberg trolling.
Oh yeah, with with Bobby Fish kicking out at one with the jackhammer. Yo, Riddle got an issue, bruh.
Goldberg might have to come down to Full Sail and see him, or they got to see each other. I don't know, man. But
hey, man, with the big news that we'll be talking about later.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it might be possible.
It might be. It really might be. I would love to see that, man. Like, imagine, like,
absolutely.
Who would go over, though?
Man, let Matt Riddle take that joint, bruh.
It might be a shoot, but Goldberg might be in trouble then.
If it's a shoot, Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg's done. Sorry, Goldberg. Yeah, so... Of course, Undisputed Era win with kind of like the up and under on Keith Lee, which, I mean, that's another. Roderick Strong pinned Keith Lee, and now like the tag team did. So Undisputed Era come down. Ciampa comes down. He finally uses the damn crutch against somebody. and
then
we end the show.
I think oh, my fault. Go ahead.
Yeah, we end the show with like him looking at the title, and he's like, Goldie, this is gonna have to wait. Daddy's going to war, so it looks like we might have 2 War Games matches.
That's gonna be something because these War Game matches do go fairly long. So hopefully they find something. They find interesting to do at this time around.
Early prediction. So if it is Undisputed Era, and maybe Johnny Gargano has his hands full, who's going to be the fourth?
Well, who's in the ring at that time?
So we got like Undisputed Era on the outside. You had Keith Lee, you had Matt Riddle, and you had Ciampa, which is already like a big. That's a crazy team as it is. Who would be?
Oh,
Dijakovic.
Dijakovic or Velveteen Dream if he's ready.
If it's Dijak, like that's a crazy power dynamic going against like Undisputed Era. They got to be super crafty.
No, we talked about it as it was airing. I'm not like if it's going to be a winner take all kind of thing. That's going to be kind of crazy. And how are you dividing the titles with that going on? I definitely don't think that. I don't think any of these War Game matches should have the title involved.
Do you think the women's War Games match should have the title? Like whoever wins, kind of. Oh yeah, there's teams, so you can't have that. But do you think that? Like, how would you do that? Like, are you just kind of negating the whole like number one contendership and just having a win?
War Games is like how it's looking for title pictures. Well, for the women at least, looking like a real placeholder pay-per-view. Like it looks like it's kind of like a little pointless, but we'll see in the weeks what they're gonna do with this.
Yeah, that was both the shows. I mean, so what are your overall thoughts? Like, do you think that AEW, I feel like, was a little bit better, but it was a little bit discombobulated? I feel like NXT is definitely starting to get their legs under it as they're going in the War Games. Like, we're seeing solid storylines like that we can kind of like get behind, like with Finn Balor and Gargano and like War Games matches.
War Games. Yeah. AEW, for sure, I would say a better show than last week. Thank God. This week it isn't a 2-match show. I definitely think that the trios match is really good. The women's match is really good. The main event is really good. Just like it was a really good show this week. I'm high on AEW this time. Yeah, and
just to briefly touch on like the ratings that came out, they both got decimated because we had a Game 7 at a World Series Game 7. So that averaged about 21 million viewers.
It's that season, baby.
So AEW did 759,000. That's down from the 963,000 from last week. And NXT did 580,000. That's down from 698 last week as well. They're both. We knew, like, nobody knew that there was going to be a Game 7 here, but when we saw that there was going to be a Game 7, especially a competitive Game 7 as it was, like with the Nationals and the Astros, we knew the ratings were going to go down. Like, we knew that the ratings were going to be like this, so nobody should be surprised.
And you know, I saw some stuff that's talking about like NXT is like looking like a failure and stuff like that. Honestly, a lot of us weren't even watching NXT week to week. We were all just, you know, waiting for the spoilers on Twitter, watching the matches, that anything that interests us, then, you know, getting ready for TakeOver. Now, like, these ratings are just the people that actually watch NXT week to week, like the people that watch it on the network every time. Like, I don't think like it's a failure. It's just like this is what the core fan base was from the start, and people just wanted to see stuff from the beginning. Like, both these shows are losing viewers, and I don't think that it's much of a big deal if you're a wrestling fan. Like, this Monday, I definitely think this Wednesday Night Wars can be wrapped up. If you want to, it doesn't really matter. You want to say AEW won, whatever, but this war is kind of like pointless now.
Yeah, I think
like now it's just like a buzzword, just like, you know, for people to like say stuff.
Yeah, I think that like, and one thing when a lot of people talk about the ratings is that they don't take in consideration delayed watching. You can't measure ratings as the metric that you did 20 years ago or maybe even 5 years ago. A lot of people cord cut. A lot of people can't watch it live, so they elect to either watch, you know, AEW on the or like Sling or like TNT, or they
like. I recommend watching it on Fight TV. So, you know, like maybe people that were watching AEW on TNT switched over to Fight TV, and then you get a better show with no commercials.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, some people can't watch, especially you can't watch both, and like. Mm-hmm. Maybe you watch AEW first one week, or maybe you watch NXT one week. NXT, you have the network, so like, you know what I mean. You have that. Yeah. So I agree with you. Like, I don't think that, basically with this drop and with the ratings, like, it's really a big deal. Like, both shows were decent. Like, they both were good. They had good parts to them, and it's gonna be interesting to see what AEW does next week because they have their first big pay-per-view going forward, and with them having a show. Okay, so before we get out of here, kind of want to briefly touch the elephant in the room. Since
can I start off?
No, go ahead. Since, you know, Jordan Myles is a part of NXT, I feel like the A-Show guys had a magnificent discussion, long-form discussion on this.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on it, so yeah, I think. Go ahead, you got the floor.
Okay, a couple weeks ago, I asked, "Where is Jordan Myles?" I definitely think he should be on NXT TV, and he's returned, and he had a lot of stuff to say about the WWE and, you know, kind of about like wrestling in general. I agree with a lot of stuff that he says, but there's like a lot of stuff that is kind of shaky and it's not very clear-cut message. And I think people that are saying that we should probably like just be behind him because he's a black man is kind of like, it's Kanye Stan-ish. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to hear where he's coming from, and a lot of the stuff that he's saying is looking very weird. And at first, he had me at the first hour. And then when, I think 7 tweets after that, he kind of lost me, and a lot of people that are, you know, they're anti-WWE, so they were just like, you know, they sprung on the chance to, like, you know, say something about a talent being disgruntled or unhappy. And then we had a lot of people that are just, like, being kind of opportunistic about the situation, like, you know, the shirt stuff, this wouldn't happen if they hired my homeboy.
Oh, man.
Or, you know, maybe if they had somebody else there, parentheses, me, you know, stuff like that. I definitely think that's that's not cool. Like, people are, like, certainly pushing their own agenda or just trying to get, you know, just trying to get ahead off the situation right now. And I don't think it's a really good look it's definitely not a good look for Jordan, and it's definitely not a good look for a lot of those people that were talking about it.
So, I'm aware that we live in an age where it kind of invokes an instant reaction. And as this was unfolding, I made a conscious decision not to really tweet about it until I got
I was going off.
Yeah, until I got the full story, because, like, I agree with. I think we've all watched Jordan Myles, or formerly known as ACH, when he was in ROH, when he was in New Japan. I've even said, like, why are they not doing more with ACH in their junior division? Because they definitely need it, and this guy's talented.
Yeah.
So, from his standpoint, we all kind of say that the shirt that shirt is terrible. You know what I mean? Not even from what people can interpret from it. And I know, like, blackface and kind of like that era is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, and, well, it's funny because, like, we're talking about it on Halloween and we still have problems with that shit.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he had a point there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's not my position to tell him what not to be upset about. My issue is when he was kind of invoking kind of like for the culture, but then he tweeted about Jay Lethal. ROH is owned by Sinclair. Sinclair is a ultra conservative entity. You know what I mean? Like, they're pro things that I'm not for. But I recognize that Jay Lethal was a long time heavyweight champion there. You know what I mean? Like, a win for him is like a win for all of us. And what I didn't like about this whole situation is that, like, people took opportunities to kind of take shots at each other. Like, I feel like with wrestling and maybe like wrestling Twitter, like, when something big happens, they're kind of like,
pick your side.
Yeah, it's like you got to pick a side, and then you got to, like, all right, man, I don't like you, so I'm going to take. Now this is my opportunity to take shots at you.
Now that you have opposing views as me.
Yeah, so, like, we're a podcast of people of color. So is the A Show. So is like, shout out to CP. Shout out to Black Wrestlers. Like, a lot of you know. Shout out to, you know, Undisputed Hey podcast. It's just everybody. Okay. I feel like, listen, we're all on the same side. I agree with people when they say that we need more people of color in the rooms at the top, okay? Like, in design, consulting about design and kind of like that way, or booking, or even at the top of WWE, there aren't any really predominant people of color up there, and I feel like we're all fighting the same fight. You know what I mean? Like, so when we take shots at each other, like, that's just not the way to go. That's the point that I don't like. Like, I feel we can disagree with each other. Like, you can have a conversation with me. Like, if you don't like something, like maybe, you know, I like the book in the decision and you didn't. We can talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like because this is like a hot button issue, like people are like, you know what? Like, if you're not for Jordan, then, you know, like, I mean, what are you doing? Like, and I'm like, it's a little bit more layered to that. And for Jordan, I'm not going to say anything negative about him. I think he, you know, with his Instagram posts, he might be in a bad place right now. So I wish him all the best. NXT was NXT was pushing him. Like, he won the breakout tournament, and he got a title shot against Adam Cole, and WWE, let me tell you, they are not saints when it comes to all that stuff, but they are trying. Think of that moment that we just had at WrestleMania with Kofi Kingston winning, or somebody like Ricochet ascending,
being at the top of your card,
or like the Street Profits. Like, they are not saints. They still have more to go as a representation as a company and bringing more of our voices in, but they are trying, and that's what I want people to recognize. Keep on pushing them, keep on pushing, and that's with anything, like with any company, like journalism, or like even at your job where there isn't a lot of diversity. Like, keep pushing, but we got to see like that we kind of like we did push forward some. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People, I think, like, what was it? Mark Henry did say he's like kind of in a dark place. That video of him saying that WWE doesn't care about black people is also kind of like real shaky. I don't know. Like, I definitely understand the message and where he's coming from. All that. I just do think like his message went to the wrong people, and they like ran with it in a very negative way, and I don't think that helped out Jordan Myles in that sense. And I'm gonna keep it real. I do remember that post where NXT did like pull out all the shirts, you know, all the black shirts.
I remember that.
But I personally don't remember seeing Jordan Myles' shirt, which was like really like it was just like, damn, how'd that like miss me? I do remember like sharing the shirt with my friend, and I did show them the Dio Madden one, because like, you know, we are fans of him. We know like him from, you know, streaming and like his stuff before he went to the WWE. And we're just like, you know, those shirts weren't great. A lot of those designs were pretty bad, and it's easy for stuff to get lost in the shuffle, like the Jordan Myles shirt did. So like, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people did miss this, and then he brought a lot of attention to it. I don't think it was the smartest move of leaking that email of what's that dude, like Brand Layden?
Yeah, I think like we've all kind of had that moment where we're kind of like a hot-headed moment, and we just kind of like spew like, all right, man, like I hate this.
Not a good look.
But I don't think that it was kind of like a good look to do it in that way. Like, I definitely think that he had a legitimate beef, but I just don't think that it was the way for him to do that. But then again, I don't want to dictate how he felt, because like you know what I mean, if I was in that position, I'd be pissed too. I'm like, what the hell is going on there? But the point I was trying to make to like everybody who kind of listens to this podcast, like especially like if you're designing shirts, if you're doing your own podcast, like we're all on the same side. We are all trying to fight on the same fight, because, you know, representation for people of color basically in wrestling media or wrestling design and stuff like that is still fairly new. You know what I mean? Like, we're still very...
in just life in general, honestly. So I do think, like, a lot of, like, stand up for your people, absolutely. And another issue that I have with a lot of this situation is a lot of, like, people that are not people that are white are saying a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, this is not your place to talk. Please just quiet down. I see like a lot of while the stuff about the shirt was going on Twitter, I saw a lot of the white people that I follow just keeping quiet, and that's that is a good move.
Yeah, I just think that like if you're like that color, like if it doesn't, this is a teachable moment for you. Like just understand where we're coming from and just learn, like, you know, why it's not okay.
Because Myles is responding to a lot of people that are just like, why, like, this was a month ago. Why are you mad at the shirt? Like, you should have said something earlier. And it's just like, like, I saw a tweet that was just like, you know, it takes time to comprehend, you know, emotions and stuff like that, or just like what really happened. And, you know, probably like something traumatic, or, you know, like after a car crash or something, like, you know, you just got to like take it in. And I do think like people that were just coming at him were just like, why are you mad? Get over it. Like, don't be quiet.
Yeah, don't do that.
Stop talking. Don't tell people how to feel about certain stuff. That is like a really super shitty thing you can do.
I think that was perfectly said. I think that we've said everything that we wanted. Again,
yeah.
Everybody go listen to the A show and the discussion that they had.
Yes.
Like I think
they went into a long form about it. 40 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was a super good discussion that everybody should check out. That would do it for our show. As always, you can go follow us at RNC Radio Live. We've had a bunch of shows. Like here, go ahead.
We're getting more,
and we're getting more. We're growing.
Oh my god, we're getting a lot more shows. Literally, we have everything. And I was hanging out with my friend the other day, and they were just like, "So, what is RNC Radio?"
Everything.
And I was just like, what kind of like podcasts do you guys have? Because they think it's just the wrestling stuff, because you know they only know it through me, and I only do the wrestling shows. But it's just like there's a lot of stuff on the network. So
First Responders, a new episode.
Yeah,
they reviewed Jesus is King. RSBN, we just had the first week of NBA, so they go with that. Of course, we had the A show. You had a new episode of Spot Callers with Justin talking about WCW Halloween Havoc 93, which I listened to, and it's actually pretty funny. And of course, we got a new episode of Late Fees coming tomorrow. It's the George Romero episode. So if you like, you know, any of those Dawn of the Dead zombie movies, that would be for you. Yeah. So we're gonna get out of here. For me, Murjani, Cyrus, you got anything to say before you leave?
Hey, man. Love each other, man. Be nice to your peoples.
And rest in peace, John Witherspoon, too.
Oh, yeah. Rest in peace, Granddad.
Rest in peace, Pops. Sugar Pops.
Mr. Bitches.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Peace out.